Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to a new episode. This week, we kind of wanted to talk about the NFL draft that just came by and kind of talk a little bit about our teams and kind of see the winners of the draft, losers of the draft, and kind of get some opinions. This week, we have all three of us together, which is kind of a rarity. It's been a little bit since we've been together. We got Anthony and Brunner and me, Elite. So let's get right into it.
Right, who wants
Eagles
to
are
go
the best
first?
draft.
Anthony, how do you feel about drafting Jalen Carter? Because you were a little tipsy when they drafted him.
Oh wow, you remembered. Okay, yeah. So any of you that don't know, I went to the Ale House, right? Where I usually go, the Eagles fan club. I wanted Robinson, running back Robinson, right? I've been telling my uncle, we're gonna get Robinson, we gotta move up. Okay, this is before we drafted our pick. Okay, keep in mind before everybody bashes me. So there we are, right? I'm like Bruce said, I'm in the bar, and the Falcons select Robinson at 8th, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct? Right? Yeah. Livid. I was livid, and I was like, oh, I don't care who we get. Like, I don't care who we get. We lost Paris. He went to the Cardinals. We lost Robinson. Those are the only two I wanted going in. I think I told you guys those were who I want. So when we drafted this guy, I was pissed. And then the first thing that came up was his murder stats, right? Where he got into a DUI with his friend. His friend was driving. He didn't do anything wrong, but he still had to go to court for that. It was just a whole mess. And like that's the first thing I saw. So I was like, oh my god, like he's not even gonna see the field. Like that's the first thought was he's not even gonna see the field. But then I was talking to my uncle. He beat the case apparently. That's what I heard. I don't know if you guys heard anything different. But to answer your question, at that moment I was pissed. Right now, happy, thrilled. I think he's gonna be a great run stopper. He already has chemistry with the Kobe Dean. Hold on, fucking cats.
Yeah.
He already has the chemistry. What?
I was gonna say, I remember us talking to you guys pre-draft, and then you're like, oh, are you guys gonna get Robinson? And you're like, oh, I think we are, but we gotta protect Hurst. Let's get Paris. And then Cardinals, didn't they trade back, right?
Yeah, they traded back. They had the dirt pick.
Yeah, they had the third pick.
Yeah, and then they traded to the 6th. I think it was the 6th.
Yeah, because the Texans got back-to-back picks because they were number 2 because they got C.J. Stroud and then Will Anderson, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm looking at the draft right now. So they traded back from 3rd with Houston to wherever Houston was. So you're right. They got Will Anderson, and then they got Stroud, then Anderson.
Yep. Yeah, and then so I'm like, oh, okay, like, and then they get Paris Campbell, and I'm like, Robinson time? And then you're like, yeah, hopefully we'll get him. And then with the 8th pick, the Atlanta Falcons select Bijan Robinson.
Pissed. The whole Ale House was pissed too, by the way. Not just me. I don't think it's just me. The whole Ale House was pissed.
I was pissed. I was a little pissed too. My draft, but we're gonna save Elite for last because Elite had the best draft of maybe 3 of us. We got Quentin Johnston. Personally, I wanted Jordan Addison. I haven't seen, as somebody from Texas, I didn't watch any TCU anything. I've been following USC and Caleb Williams' Heisman run. So I'm like, oh, let's get the guy who helped, win Caleb Williams a Heisman. And he was on the board. He was available, but we got Quentin Johnston instead. And I was pissed, but I was happy because I've been harassing these two saying, let's get Herbert some weapons. We got to get Herbert some weapons. And we did it, but, I'm happy. This is why I'm happy that Quentin Johnston is now a Charger. So everybody has their role on that team. Keenan Allen is the explosive route runner. He gets open, and he constantly gets double-teamed. Mike Williams is the guy who is the one-on-one guy. You throw it up, and then he comes down with it. And then so now we have Quentin Johnston, who's the yards after catch guy. So we still we would dump it out to Eckler, and then Eckler would fight, and get some yards. But now we take the pressure off of Eckler. So now Eckler's just going to be focused on the running. And if he's open, we'll throw it to him. So now that's Quentin Johnston's role, is the yards after catch guy. So I'm excited to see what Kellen Moore's got cooking up for this new offense. Justin Herbert will hopefully be 100% healed. He had the rib injury. I'm pretty sure he's okay now. And then he had shoulder surgery when the season ended. So we're going to see a healthy Herbert with the new weapon. And we got his Quentin Johnston's wide receiver buddy, Darius Davis, who ran a 4.36 at the 40-yard combine. So and then because they asked Quentin Johnston, after the draft, they asked him, they're like, do you have any returning abilities? And he's like, no, I don't return, because Darius Davis, the guy from TCU, he was the return guy, and that dude's just, he's got jets, man. That dude can take off. So I'm excited for we had a okay special teams, but this dude's fast. I can't wait for the jet sweeps. Can't wait to see what Kellen Moore's doing. So elite.
We'll see what happens with that. Just my one thing I always kind of say about that is, remember John Ross. John Ross is faster than shit, and it's a difference when you're kind of, I don't know. I always get kind of.
But the guy's the 6th round. He got drafted in the 6th round, not the first round.
Yeah, which is good. Right,
I'm happy to see you happy with the pick, Brunner. Unlike me, where I was pissed, my pick got first. I'm sure every Eagles fan could disagree with me, but the Chargers fan base, I don't think they agree with this pick. They wanted Zay Jones, and I'm glad to see you happy with it, though. And you know what? No one knows who's a bust until day one, so you never know. You really never know. He's been to a national championship. He's been to a national championship. He's got to have some speed. So, good that you're happy with the pick, Brunner. We always like that, unless some Chargers fans are really going at him right now, which I don't know why. Any wide receiver at that point to LA is good, because they need it. Like you said, Keenan Allen's old. He's getting up there, and then Mike Williams is going to get double-teamed eventually, and you need that open guy, yards after catch guy. So I'm glad to see you're happy with that pick, Brunner.
Which is just crazy, because I just looked it up. I didn't realize, so Keenan Allen, it feels like he's been there 100 years.
Yeah, bro.
Right?
He looks like he's been there 100 years.
But he's only been in the league 10 years. This is his 10th year. It
First,
feels a lot longer. It feels a lot longer. But 10 years as a receiver is still pretty lengthy. But it's not as bad as I thought it was. I literally thought he was there with LaDainian Tomlinson. You know what I'm saying? But it's he just feels I think it's because he's the one consistent. He's always been there. You know what I mean? So, as for the draft for my beloved Steelers, if you guys remember, I said we need to get 2 things. We only need 2 things, and I'll be happy. We need to shore up our offensive line, and we need to help out our secondary. And our first 2 picks, bang, bang. We got an offensive tackle who's a beast out of Georgia. And then we went with the 32nd overall that we got because Miami messed up. So really, it's a first-round draft pick, even though it's the first round in the second round. First pick in the second round. We went and got Joey Porter Jr., who's his dad is a friggin' legend in Pittsburgh. Yep. So it's almost a perfect fit that he's in Pittsburgh. And then we just kind of went and shored up positions. We went and got a really great tight end I'm interested in seeing in Darnell Washington. He's a 6'6" tight end, which could open up the field if we put 2 tight ends spread out there. And we got a defensive tackle, another linebacker, which was another who's a brother of another player on the team. Pittsburgh loves brothers. And we've got another corner and another guard. So, and then I don't know if you guys saw the next day, Pittsburgh went and signed 15 people that were undrafted. And they went and got a ton of offensive tackle, offensive guards. So I think they're going to just try to figure out their line and go from there. And if Kenny can hold up, we might be able to make some movement this year.
Okay.
I'm very happy.
Yeah, I know I joked at the beginning that the Eagles have the best draft, but the Steelers ended up having the number 1 draft overall. So I was joking in the beginning. I'm glad to see Lee's happy with it. That quarter kid's going to be stud, by the way. Corners are the next people to get paid big. And in my opinion, you need a lockdown corner in that 1 day league because you're gonna get that pass interference call. You need a corner that could know how to not get that call and get that interception. I think he'll be that man. Yeah,
I think they'll be the third highest paid player on the squad because I think you're always going to pay your quarterback and you're always going to pay that guard that protects the right side. You know what I'm saying?
sure.
And then I think it's going to be either an edge. Edges are really starting to come up now, or it's going to be that corner because it's such a pass-first league now. You need to have a secondary. If you don't have a secondary, you just become Swiss cheese.
Yep,
And,
I agree on that one. And yeah, I think it's multiple secondaries at that point.
absolutely.
I mean, we love Steelers, we love Chargers. So I don't know. We have time for do we have time for predictions? Are we gonna do that today?
Yeah, but before we go into that, we mentioned Atlanta, who's not any of our teams, as like mentionable because they took Bijan Robinson at number 8, and people think, oh, that's a little too high.
It's high.
Is there anything else, another team that stood out that was a bad draft pick?
Well, I just want to say.
Start.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Let me start. So, Packers selected an edge with the 13th overall pick, and people keep preaching, "This is Jordan Love era. This is Jordan Love era. Jordan Love era starts now." And the Packers don't have a lot of depth, at wide receiver. And who's on the board at number 13? Jackson Smith-Njigba. Who's at the board at 13? Zay Flowers, Jordan Addison, Quentin Johnston. And everyone's like, okay, this is it. They've learned from their mistakes from Aaron. They're going to get a wide receiver for Jordan Love because he's QB1. They get an edge rusher. And I literally was watching the draft on my phone at work, and I literally jumped up and started laughing when they did that. I'm like, these guys will never, ever draft wide receiver in the first round. How do you guys feel?
But you know what?
I agree, and it's like, but I think that this year's receiving. So the difference is, I think what the Packers do is they're by that old school mentality of like, same with Bill Belichick, is I don't need to have a number one stud. Like the only time you can ever think in the history of the Patriots with all those Super Bowls that they had a stud as a receiver was Randy Moss. And Randy Moss, by the time he got there, was a discipline issue. A lot of people thought he was going to be an issue. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't draft. They always drafted their receivers. They would find them in the 3rd or 4th round. I don't know. Like, I always wonder what the drop-off is, in all honesty, you're going to have a receiver. The 1 or 2 first, second person ever picked is probably exponentially greater. But is it really that different than like 3 to 6? You know what I'm saying? If you pick them up it's kind of like running backs. You're going to have one really good running back, and then you're going to have about 5 guys that are all about the same. So if you get them in the 2nd or 3rd round, is it really that different? And I wonder if that's their mentality. They have a lot of issues anyway. They just have, when you look at the Packers, they just paid a guy a 5th-year option, Jordan Love. He played what, a game and a half?
Yeah.
He
started when Aaron got COVID, Kansas City, and then he played the second half of Aaron's last year against Detroit. And but I just thought, I'm like,
it's just
hey,
weird.
They're gonna get this kid a weapon. You know what I mean? They're gonna build around him. Because because I saw a lot of Packers fans. They're like, you know what? They got Joe Burrow help. They got Jamar Chase. In the first round,
Yeah.
He's been a stud. They got Justin Jefferson in the first round. That guy's been a stud. If they moved up, I feel like that kid Lucas Van Ness would have been there at 16, but they moved up. They swapped with the Jets to get the 13th pick, and I was under the impression because literally once Seattle got Njigba, then it was Chargers. Chargers got Quentin Johnston, wide receiver, and then who else was there? And then the Vikings. The Vikings got Addison, and then the Ravens got Zay Flowers. So it was literally 4 back-to-back. So if everybody knew if there's a wide receiver going to come first, it would be Njigba. And they had the chance, but they got an edge rusher.
I don't know. They're like such a weird franchise.
Yeah, and that team has no depth because Lazard is gone, who was wide receiver 1. He's with the Jets. Cobb is gone, who's like wide receiver 3 or 4. So
he's with the Jets now too.
Yeah.
Do you see that?
Uh-huh.
He signed, I think, yesterday, right?
Yeah. So
I was like, that's kind of crazy. Get the old team back together.
Yeah.
My one hot take out of this draft, and I don't know. To me, it's a hot take because I don't know if it's going to work out. As you know, that many quarterbacks aren't going to be hits. Okay, you're going to have, out of all these people that were drafted, I think with the first 6 picks, there were 4 quarterbacks. Probably 2 of them are going to be good. I think Indianapolis made a mistake with Richardson. And the reason I say that is everybody said that he has like to grow into the position. They don't have anybody for him to sit behind. Like I know, like as Carolina as my NFC team, I kind of wanted them to get Richardson because he could have sat behind Dalton and sat there for 2 years learning the game and the speed of the game. But Indianapolis doesn't have anybody in front of him. So he's going to be playing. Now, maybe they think it's going to be like Peyton Manning, where Peyton Manning got pummeled that first year.
Foles and Minshew are there, isn't he?
Yeah. Okay, like I said, they don't have anybody there.
One of them the MVP, baby. One of them the Super Bowl MVPs.
So it's just kind of, I think that one I'll be interested to see how that works out. But that being said, I'm pretty happy with the pick Carolina did do with Bryce Young. I mean, I'm growing. It's growing on me.
I think Aaron Rodgers should feel right at home in New York because the Jets did terrible the draft, in my opinion.
They did the worst of anybody.
He was jumping up and down when the Packers made a bad pick. I was jumping up and down. The Jets made a bad pick the first round. I mean, even Jets fans agree with me. They don't like their picks. I mean, at least who they got and at what time. You gotta give it to the GMs, man. They managed to get Aaron Rodgers to style with first round this year, and they ended up fucking that up. So Aaron Rodgers should throw right at home from Wisconsin to New York because it's like.
But the reality is what do the Jets really need? That's kind of what I said the other day. It was like, what do they really need? They had like 5 picks last year, first round picks.
They need like an offense. Who did they get for their first pick? They needed an offense.
Their first pick, they picked an edge rusher. Yeah. And then their next pick, they picked a guard. They got a center and a guard in Tipperman. Then they went and got an offensive tackle. They went and picked up a running back, which I think was a waste because their kid that Bryce kid is pretty good.
Yeah.
Then they got a linebacker in Zaire Barnes, and they got a corner, which is another one. I'm kind of like, okay, why'd you get another corner? Because they had that kid. They got Sauce Gardner, who's phenomenal, and the tight end. I mean, it's. They also went and got free agents. You also got to look at that. They went and got Lazard. They went and got Cobb. They went and got somebody else they signed there, another receiver, didn't they?
Yeah, McCall Hardman from the Chiefs.
Yeah, Hardman, who's a speedster. So, I mean, they went and got people outside of the draft. I don't know. I think that they'll be okay. I think last year they were a great team, except they didn't have a freaking quarterback. You know, defensively, they were a great defensive team. And arguably, as we all know, as long as you have a decent defensive team, you can have a mediocre offensive team and make it to deep in the playoffs, if not to the Super Bowl. That's
they beat the Bills Ravens once last year, I think.
You know, Baltimore Ravens got 2 rings with quarterbacks both times. So that's kind of funny.
Is that it for the draft?
It is. I think that's it.
Anthony?
Oh, that's it. Just want to say that. I'm also excited for Nolan Smith. We also got him. He was ready to be an Eagle. He had the socks on, the green socks on. So that was pretty cool to see. But let's get into it. I think our defense is going to be killer. Let's get into this. I'm excited. I remember doing last year's. So if you guys don't remember me explain it. We did the video. You can go back and watch it. Where we did early predictions in the division. And then we rewatched the video at the end of the season. And we learned from our mistakes. Sometimes we got it right. Sometimes we got it wrong. It's funny as hell. This is part 2. Short story short, right? Did I miss anything? No. Early prediction of the division. All right. Let's see. We'll go North.
I just want to point out this is before one single preseason game. So all this is subject to change.
Training camp.
Yeah,
hasn't even
rookies.
started.
I think just rookies just reported. That's it.
Yeah.
This is
Rookie
the
camps
earliest
happen.
predictions ever. We'll
Yeah,
start with NFC North, and then we'll go to AFC East, and then we'll just go from there.
All
So NFC North, we're gonna go first. That's your old division.
NFC North. I have. Oof, this is tough. I'm gonna give it to the Bears. I have the Bears taking the NFC North. They're building around Justin Fields. They got him DJ Moore. The GM's on fire. I see the Bears taking. I see it's new. Besides old man Kirk Cousins, a lot of young faces in the NFC North. So I see the Bears taking it at 1. Then I'm going to give it to the Vikings at 2, followed by the Lions at 3, and then Packers going like 3 and 14.
Oof. Okay. I also picked the Bears to win the division. They just went and bought everything in free agency. It seemed like they went and got picked up everybody. I'm going to change it, and I think that they're going to extend what they did last year, the end of last year, and it's going to piss off Anthony. I think the Lions are going to be number 2 because they had a lot of momentum and they were starting to put stuff together at the end of last season. And they're coming off their first playoff appearance in 200 years. So they're going to, I think, then the Vikings, because Kirk Cousins never strings together 2 seasons in a row. And then I agree, the Packers, I think, are going to be a very big disappointment.
Well, you'll be surprised to know that I do too also have the Lions at number 2. Not 1, 2. I think the Lions get second place. My number 1, I'm going to go ahead and say the Vikings again. I mean, you know what? Okay. Wild prediction. Here we go.
Yeah.
Lions win the NFC North, right? Give me Lions first. And then give me the Vikings second, Bears third, Packers last.
Okay.
I think Kirk Cousins can string it up. The only thing that concerns me is that the Adam Thielen's gone, so everyone's going to go for Justin Jefferson. But you know what? I trust the head coach. Lions will make the playoffs.
And Dalvin Cook never has 2 seasons in a row staying healthy either.
Yeah, the Lions, if they can figure out how to control Jared Goff, they might just win the division. Because that division's pretty weak right now. So, I mean, I'm going to get the Lions, man. Give me the Lions. They will make the playoffs. I'm going to say they're not going to get second seed for all you Detroit fans, so be careful out there. I think they're going to be like the very last ones. I don't know. I think it's, 4?
Well, they're going to win a division, so they'll have a home game.
It'll be 4,
if
yeah.
they win
they'll be, I think they'll be the least, the weakest division, basically, is what I'm trying to say. But
Go
ahead and win it. I got Lions. Give me Lions.
It's kind of funny you say that because I don't see them as the weakest division, but that's okay. They're going to end up with a better record than the AFC South. That's the weakest division.
The NFC South? Yeah, okay, yeah, probably. We'll get to there when we get to
I
there.
think they'll be a 3 seed.
Yeah, probably. We'll get
So
to
where-
that. So
where
I
we
got
going
Lions.
next?
Bears, Lions. That's what we got.
Right.
You have it written down, Brunner? Or should I write it down?
Yeah, I'll be in the recording.
He'll be in the recording.
Oh, okay.
So AFC East. I'll start with the AFC East. Upset alert. Ding, 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 ding. I think the Jets are going to win the division.
I wouldn't say upset.
And then the Dolphins are going to be second. Bills are going to be third. Patriots are going to be last. That's my pick.
Anthony.
Yeah, man. I mean, it depends if Tua could stay healthy. That's what I'm thinking. Patriots have no one at quarterback. Sorry, Mac Jones fans.
Zappy. It's all about Zappy.
Bill, man, the Bills are they're getting up there with the mediocre teams because they're not doing anything after playoffs.
Plus, they have a lot of contention in the locker room. Like, people don't want to be there.
Yeah,
they're not
Diggs is getting pissed. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna agree with give me Jets. Bills second, still make the playoffs. Dolphins third, and Patriots last.
I agree with Anthony. I think Jets take it. I'm either, just for the sake of not being the same, I have Dolphins at 2. I'm sorry. I have Dolphins at 2. I see I'm sensing like a big injury, like a Diggs or maybe a Josh Allen injury. So like maybe that gets them pushed off. That pushes them up. So I'll say Jets, Dolphins, Bills, Patriots.
That's what I said. All right, let's go to the NFC South.
Yep.
NFC South.
Let's see. All right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take the Carolina Panthers to win. Carolina Panthers to win. We're starting to put some things together down there. We'll see what happens. And then I think Baker Mayfield in Tampa Bay. I think he might prove some people wrong. Then the Saints, and then I think the Falcons are going to be the last again.
This is tough because it's like what team has it more together? Because I honestly think DC Derek Carr, since Joey Bosa's not in his division anymore, so he's not going to get sacked a lot. So I see DC taking it that number one, the Saints, and then it's tough because the Buccaneers are a show right now. Who was it? The middle linebacker wants to leave now.
Yeah, Devin White, no?
Yeah,
Devin White wants to leave. Bruce Arians is gone, and he's been gone, but like it's like it kind of hasn't been the same since he's left.
But he really hasn't been gone. He just moved to the front office and still was doing stuff.
Yeah, but
now he's gone.
But Bruce Arians.
But it's like
with Brady.
The coaching hasn't been the same. But I'm pretty sure like the whole Buccaneers like playoff Lenny Fournette's gone. Besides like Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, Gronk's gone. Everybody's gone.
Which they want to leave.
Everybody's gone.
Yeah. But I feel like Baker Mayfield's still going to get blamed for it. So I see it's going to be Saints. Give me the Panthers, Bucks, and no, give me the Saints. Give me Saints, Falcons, Panthers, Bucks. That's my prediction.
Okay. Okay, that's a tough one, man. I go look at the Falcons free agency, man. They went out and they got some weapons. They got.
I'm
gonna have to take the Falcons, man. Like Lee said, the weak division. I think Bryce Young needs to develop 1 year and he'll take the South. Give me Falcons, Panthers, Saints, Bucks. Literally how it has it right there.
So I guess the only thing I would say about that is the thing with the Panthers. The reason I took the Panthers, just to justify my pick, is they were one win away from the playoffs last year, and they just improved. They didn't lose anybody. They improved. You know what I'm saying? Falcons, I can see that too, though, because they improved. But I don't know. I don't know the Saints, man.
The Bucks and the Saints should be worried about the future. The Panthers and the Falcons have a young future, so it's between them, really. Give me the Falcons this year, though. I still think the Panthers, if the NFC manages to stay weak, and if the NFC East isn't as powerful as everyone thinks, I think it's going to be then they should be okay. But I don't know. I see the Falcons taking it. Derek Carr, come on. I'm sorry. To all my Saints fans that are friends, Saints fans, dude, it's Derek Carr. That's not anybody special. And then Baker Mayfield's going to get blamed like Brunner said. So,
well, Derek Carr, who's he got to throw to? Michael Thomas is coming off an ACL injury.
They got Chris. Yeah. If Landry comes back, they have that rookie. He's not a rookie anymore, but Chris Olave.
Olave. Yeah, so it's, I don't know. I don't know.
They got some weapons too.
Yeah, and then they got Jesse Bates. They signed Jesse Bates, who was the stud in Cincinnati. And then they traded and got Jeff Okudah from Detroit. So, the defense is going to be locked down.
Yeah. Huh. We'll see. That's a shit show. It's just a shit show.
And they got Heineke. Anthony's crying that he's no longer
I was laughing at that edit you sent me, by the way.
That's just a shit show. It's what it really just kind of shows me is that NFC is such a shit division. It's just
be the other way around.
Yeah, it's just that their conference sucks now. It's it's NFC East. It seems like the only one comparable. I mean, I don't know. The West, I mean, I guess I take that back. The 49ers are going to probably be a pretty decent team, but
How does it have LA, but not the new Commanders logo?
I don't know. So let's go right across the side to the AFC South. Okay. That's another show. I think I'm going to take Jackson.
Huge
I think
bright future. Huge bright future
I think
quarterbacks.
I'm going to take Jacksonville because it's the most experienced quarterback. And then I'm going to take Tennessee. But I don't really even know who's going to be playing there. Like, I know there's like, is Tannehill going to be their guy or the guy they draft? Like, I don't know who's playing quarterback at this point. And then I really have a hard time ever picking the Texans anywhere from the basement. So I had to go Colts, Texans. So.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to go with my boy Doug Peterson. Take the division again. The Jags first. Give me the Colts second. Texans third. Titans last. With that being said, with Will Lewis, I think Lewis, whatever the name is.
Yeah.
Then Titans, Anthony. Who was the quarterback that got drafted in the Colts? Anthony what?
Anthony Richardson.
CJ Stroud, Trevor Lawrence. Young quarterbacks that are ready to play. So that division should fix itself. But I mean, I don't know. One of them has to be a bust, and it's not Trevor.
One of them has to be a bust, and it has to. You're right.
I want to mention too is that Anthony was pretty shook that the Titans took Will Levis, because Anthony's like, they got Malik Willis. They're like, why did they need Will Levis? Because if you don't remember, which I remember very fondly, last year's NFL mock draft, they're like, with the second pick, the Lions are gonna take Will Levis from Liberty not Will Levis. The Lions are gonna take Malik Willis from Liberty because he's such a stud and this and that. And like a lot of people had him going in the first round, but the dude fell to the fifth round and then he got benched when Tannehill was hurt.
Where did Malik Hooker go? Does everybody know where he went?
Hendon Hooker?
No, Hendon, the guy, the old quarterback.
Tennessee.
Is it Hendon? So he went to Tennessee. Okay. So they went and got Levis. Tennessee got Levis and Hooker.
No, Hooker. Tennessee just got Levis. Hendon Hooker went to Detroit.
Okay. All right. That might be a good place for him. Just sitting behind. Okay.
All right. But my official pick, I'm gonna have the Jags take the South, followed by the Titans, followed by the Colts, because the Colts still suck because Anthony Richardson has nobody to throw to, and the line is like sometimes the Colts don't know how to play offensive line, and then I'm gonna have the Texans going last because they're gonna tank for wide receiver, and it would be so funny if the Texans tank for wide receiver, and who's gonna be eligible next year for the draft? Marvin Harrison Jr. And that guy has been going off at Ohio State. At Ohio State. And that'd be so funny if Colts legend plays for the rival.
Now, didn't they change? Isn't there a rule going in this year about tanking? Didn't they change
but
a rule?
I mean, not tanking.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that,
okay,
meaning that they're going to go like 5-12. You know what I mean?
Oh, I agree.
They're going to be the top 10 pick. They're not intentionally taking, but their season will be tank-like.
The only unknown that depends on if Jonathan Taylor has a great season. If Jonathan Taylor has a great season at running back for the Colts, I think that might move them in a second. But that's the only thing I can think. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Is when I look at it, that's the only unknown.
Uh-huh.
So that brings us to NFC West. West.
No. Oh yeah, NFC West. Yeah, sorry, I think I said AFC.
West to West. Okay. San Francisco is going to win the division.
Yep.
Then I think Seattle is going to come in second. I think the Rams will be third, and I think the Cardinals will be dead last again, and D-Hop wants to leave. So,
yeah.
there we go.
Depends. I mean, let's say. I mean, if Trey Lance goes down, good luck, you 49er fans. Give me the Seahawks. Yeah, I'll take Seahawks first. San Francisco second. LA last. Cardinals third.
Okay. I mean, I could see that too. Just San Francisco has such good defense. That's the only thing I keep thinking about is that D.
But with Pete Carroll's, he drafted some defensive players that are key to his scheme. So, I honestly, as much as I hate the dude, motherfucker's a good coach, Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll?
Yeah.
Oh, he's a great coach.
I think he could do it.
Great coach.
I think he could do it. It should be interesting, though.
Except when he was in New England or New York, when he sucked as a Jets coach and he sucked as a Patriots coach.
But you know what? I always enjoy watching the Seahawks versus 49er games more than any other West game. So it'd be good to see those two clash again because LA is a fake team. We all know that. They do not feel real. The Rams do not feel real.
Well, and also, and a reality of it is, I think when you think about like the Rams, is they're so far away from that Super Bowl team now. It just seems like it seems like that was 10 years ago. I mean, it was only 3, but it feels like it was 10 years ago. You know,
crazy.
So,
I'm gonna have Seattle going first. I think they're gonna win the division. I think the 49ers can somehow pull it off and be like the 8th seed and like maybe upset the Seahawks once Purdy comes back. And then the Rams, I actually have the Rams going last. I'm going to have the Cardinals third and the Rams going last. And I think it's weird. There's a video of D-Hop saying like, oh, who said I wanted to leave? But then earlier he was asked, he's like, hey, D-Hop, what do you think about going to these places? Let me see your visual reaction. I'm going to name some teams. But I don't know why he didn't say, well, I don't want to leave. Who said I want to leave? But I don't know why he's saying bringing up now.
Okay, let's go. Do you want to start off with the AFC North? We get the East, the NFC East, AFC North. We can go right down the way. Just go AFC North, NFC East, then the AFC West.
I'll go first. Yeah.
All right.
We'll go my division first, but I'll make my pick last. I already know who I have, but I'll allow you guys say it first.
Okay. For the NFC East is what we're doing?
Yes.
Okay, that's I'm going to take the Washington Commanders to go last. So it's going to be Eagles by far. It's the best team in the NFC. It's going to be Eagles. I think it's going to be Eagles, Giants, Cowboys, Commanders. That's what I think. But I could easily be persuaded.
Yeah.
I could easily go Cowboys over it, but I think it's going to be Giants are going to come back, and I think that Danny Dimes is going to start dropping some dimes again. So, what do you think, Brun?
I'm as a betting man, like there's that thing where it's like no team has ever won in the NFC East like back to back. So
yeah,
I think like the Eagles will be in second place by like 1 or 2 losses. So I have Giants 1, Eagles 2, Commanders at 3, and Cowboys last, and then they're gonna move on from Dak and Mike, which I've said before. I'm like, this is Mike McCarthy's last year.
Yeah.
But Jerry, I'm gonna throw up the video of Jerry Jones saying, "Oh, we don't have we don't have
we don't have a problem
player
with
issue. We
drafting,
have a
problem
coaching
with
issue."
coaching. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Drafting's not our problem. Coaching is.
He's got to get everybody.
Yeah, throw that video, please. I love that video. I was dying like for 30 minutes.
Speaking about the Cowboys, has anybody signed Zeke?
He might go back to Dallas. That's what I heard.
Okay.
But I don't blame Brunner. I mean, everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, Brunner's going against him." Dude, I don't blame him. Look at the stats. Net stats don't lie. No one has ever won the East in a while, twice. You know what I mean? With that being said, give me Eagles. I really do think we are the best team in the NFC, like Elite said. But I am scared of the Giants more than any other team right now, just because they're good. You know, they made it to the playoff. We 3-0, by the way, before you come after me. They're good, but they're only going to get better. And they have a good coach behind them, which scares me because they usually don't. And, you know, it should be fun. It's fun to see New York football back. We still own them, though, in Mondays, so it should be cool. Give me the Eagles first, Giants second, Washington third, Cowboys last.
So I just want to throw a stat out there. The last time anyone won back-to-back NFC East titles was the fucking Eagles, and they won 4 in a row.
And that was with the fucking...
With Donovan McNabb.
That's what we went, yeah.
And then the Cowboys did it in the 90s. 80s, the Redskins did it. And I thought the Giants might have done it when they played but they got beefed out by so it's just kind of but the Eagles were the last two to do it, so maybe they're going to start the tradition again. Who knows?
Give me the Eagles, yeah. I mean, give me the Eagles. I love my boy Hurts, Reddick.
I just think their talent level. Now, the only thing is, who's your backup? If Hurts gets hurt. Okay, he's a doable backup.
Mariota, and our
He's
punter
usable.
gave up the number 8 so he could have it. Fuck, dude. Our punter, if I was a punter, I'd really keep it, dude. He hasn't done.
They didn't even give up. Kyle Pitts didn't even give up 8 for Mariota in Atlanta, and Mariota was starting.
And that's a loyalty over here. Oh, and Nolan Smith just announced his number. It's gonna be 3. So I don't know what it was in college, but
What's Quez Watkins gonna be? Wasn't he 3?
yeah, I think Quez changed it.
Correct.
But
Are there any number 0s over there?
no, I thought it was gonna be Nolan because he said he wanted it, but Carter got 98. So I gotta see what the other rookies picked. But
Can you be a 0 in the NFL?
they just changed
Yeah.
that now, yeah.
Okay.
Just dumb.
Which is dumb, yeah.
Which is dumb.
Yeah,
It's
so give me
fucking not a
Eagles,
number.
Eagles, Giants, Washington, Cowgirls. All right, that's my division. Knocked up.
All right, let's go up to the fucking great AFC North.
Oh, no.
Power division of the AFC North.
Let's go. All right, Lee, you go last. Since it's yours.
I'll go last.
I'll go first since I went last. I mean, you look at the division. If you go one by one and just break down the problems, you'll see it yourself. Ah, man, you know what? It's a tough one, man. You know what? Brewer, go first. We go first, Brewer.
I'm gonna have. This is
It's
tough.
hard, huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna have. Give me the Ravens. Give me the Ravens at 1, because I know my number 2. I'm gonna have the Steelers at 2. I think the Steelers are gonna go like 10-7, or maybe 11-6. I feel like there's a number 2 because I think Cincinnati's gonna struggle at 3 because I know who my 4 is. I think Cincinnati's gonna struggle because they need somebody to replace Jesse Bates. Maybe they'll get that next year's draft. And then I have the Browns going last.
Okay, so yeah, I can see why we're struggling here. The reason why I'm struggling is because Mike Tomlin, right? That's your coach's name, Elite.
Yes.
Bad. Same reason why I'm picking Pete Carroll and the Seahawks is the same reason why I'm going to go ahead and pick the Steelers. Is I just trust that coach, and if Pickett can get it done, I think they got the weapons defensively to hold up against Lamar. So give me the Steelers first, Bengals second, Ravens third, Browns last.
Okay. All right. So, knowing a little bit about this division, I think I'm going to go the Cleveland Browns first.
What?
And because last year, what a lot of people forget about is Watson didn't play for 2 years. So all those games were and he was suspended the first half of the season. So that was basically like his preseason, putting his toe back in, and he grew leaps and bounds from game 7 to the end of the season. Okay? So he was just getting timing back, et cetera, so forth, working with these guys. I think they're going to win the division. I think the Steelers are going to be second. The Ravens are going to be third. Now, that's going to come down to the last game of the season. We haven't seen the schedule yet, but I guarantee you it's going to be the Steelers and the Ravens, and it's going to be a 1 game different. It always is. And it's going to be the freaking slobber knocker as usual. And I think the Bengals are going to seriously fall off because they started to have problems the end of last year. Now, here's the hot take. Ready? 2 wild card teams are coming out of the AFC North. 3 teams are going to the playoffs with the AFC North.
Yeah. I agree. I think that well, I don't know about the Browns, but I do think the Bengals, Ravens, and Steelers will be in the playoffs. But I can see that.
So that's the Browns just had too good of a defense. There's too many people on that defense that there's just, I don't know. And then if Watson, the only thing the weak link last year was the quarterback. You know, I honestly think they shouldn't have put Watson in. They should have kept running with the kid who used to play for the Patriots and Indy. I forget his name, but
Brisket, the hell?
Yeah, Jacoby Brissett.
I call him Brisket. Sorry, rude.
So
respect to that dude. Respect to that dude.
AFC West. So Brunner goes last. I'll start this one. Friggin' hate to say this because they piss me off and I hate it, but Kansas City's going to win the division. Kansas City's going to win the division. And then I think it's going to be the Broncos. I think the Chargers, Raiders. I think the Chargers have at least one more year. They still have some holes to fix. I think the Broncos went and got some stuff, and we'll see what happens with one more year of Russell. New coach, a lot of stuff changing up there. Kansas City, until somebody figures out freaking goddamn Pat Mahomes. And how in the hell can Patrick Mahomes sidearm a ball to Travis Kelce when everybody in the fucking stadium knows it's going to Travis Kelce and he's wide open every goddamn time? Like, figure this out, people. It's not rocket science. You know where the ball's going.
Imagine that, but me in the Super Bowl, dude. That's exactly what I was screaming in the Super Bowl. I don't want to talk about it, but you know what? I'm gonna go next.
Christ.
I hate him
that's
too,
my
man. I hate him too.
that's my pick. As much as I hate to say it, sorry, Bruin.
I'm sorry, Brunner too. I hate Kansas City so much right now. I don't know where to pick them. So give me the Broncos, Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders. Sorry, Brunner. Same reasons. I still think they need one more year to fix their holes. But you know what? I could be wrong. I could be wrong
too, and that's a straight up fact.
All right. I could see Kansas City at 1, but it's like in my head, I was saying what we said last year, like, oh, Tyreek's gone. Who's he going to throw to? But now literally Tyreek's replacements are gone. McCole Hardman is a Jet, and then Juju is a Patriot. So it's like they have Sky Moore. They have the other tight end. It's like, you know, and then
they got Travis Kelce.
Yeah, they got Travis Kelce.
Apparently, right?
But I feel like it's like we've done it before, but you know, I you know, fuck, it's my team, ride or die. Give me the Chargers at 1, Kansas City at 2, Broncos 3, Raiders last. Devontae requests a trade to the Chargers, please.
I think the Raiders will give him weapons.
That'd be a funny interdivision. I don't know if that would ever happen,
Yeah.
right?
Also, I want to make a prediction. I want to put it out there. You guys can do the same. I think this is Aaron Donald's last year. I think he's going to retire.
He's still not retired? Doing no way.
So, I'll make a prediction. You want to hear my prediction? Aaron Donald doesn't play this year. He retires before the season starts.
I hope so.
He shows up to training camp and like, yeah, I don't want to do this.
He's going to do an Andrew Luck.
Pretty, you know, but you sit and think about it. Like, honestly, what more does he need to do? He's got a Super Bowl. How many defensive player of the years? He's arguably one of the greatest defensive players ever to put on pads. Why go out and get beat up on? Your team isn't going anywhere. If they were contenders, maybe he'd play. You know what I'm saying? And I think he actually has more DPOYs than J.J. Watt now, doesn't he? Did he win one more? So I think he has the most of anybody. So he's at that point where like Michael Jordan, LeBron James, where they're not going to give it to you anymore because you have too many of them. So what's the sense of playing?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, at this point, the question shouldn't be is he retiring? The question is, when he retires, is he staying in LA or is he moving out of town? Because, I mean, shit show.
I think it'd be awesome. Like, I honestly thought he was going to end up in Pittsburgh, like as a Steeler for like one season, because he grew up in Pittsburgh. He went to Pitt. He's always, you know what I'm saying? He still has a house in Pittsburgh. So I thought he would end up there. But apparently he's a ride or die with the Rams. So.
All right, well, I mean, that was it. That was basically it. Earliest predictions we could do. I think that was earlier than last time. Shit, so.
Yeah, it's pretty early. I mean, a lot of that shit that changed. We know that.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, I can't wait. This video is basically a time capsule. So we'll see how it goes. Let us know what you think. Did we diss your team? Did you put them too low, too high? Let us know. Let us know your draft pick. Let us know about our draft pick. Our lighting, apparently, because my lighting's too dark. Green Elite.
Oh, it's okay now.
Now it's okay, I guess so. All right. So thank you, everybody. Hope you have a great day.
That's too dark. All right. Take it easy, everyone.